Around the age of 20, we hit a quiet, universal milestone. We look out at the world and suddenly notice that everything, the mountains, the sky, the people scuttling past, is entirely separate from us. This realization often brings a cold rush of fear. It is the moment you comprehend that you are, in a very physical sense, alone in the world. Most of us spend our lives running from this fact. Accepting it means accepting the burden of free will, which is tedious and unpleasant. We find it much easier to avoid the self-examination Socrates demanded and look for something else to blame. We develop a deep catalog of excuses for why we are the way we are. We point to lost money, a failed marriage, or a run of bad luck. We treat our lives as if they are things that happen to us, rather than things we are doing. But this existential separation is actually a liberating statement. It means that the power to define your experience does not belong to the world or your circumstances. It belongs to you. Personal agency can only begin when we stop looking for external culprits. Once you accept your absolute isolation, you are finally free to create the reality you desire. This creation isn't a magic trick. It's a biological and perceptual process. We all start with certain givens, the unique, often unfair set of circumstances we were born into. Life is inherently fickle and difficult. We interface with the world through 5 narrow gates: sight, smell, taste, touch, and hearing. Before reaching consciousness, these inputs pass through a final processing layer, our intuition. Here, we join the data with our unique worldview. Because every piece of information about the world is filtered this way, the reality you inhabit is a proprietary construction. You are not observing a fixed world. You are interpreting one into existence based on how you choose to focus your vision. If our reality is entirely self-generated, it raises a question. How can anyone help us? If we are truly isolated, what is the role of a mentor? In my life, that role was filled by my grandfather. I remember the smell of sandalwood in his home and the flickering television. He didn't try to change me. He filled me with curiosity about my own potential. A mentor functions differently than a teacher. Instead of delivering new knowledge, they act as an educator in the literal sense of the word. They identify the specific tool to release the internal potential you already possess. We see this dynamic in the career of Elvis Presley. His talent, voice, and magnetism were entirely internal. No manager could manufacture those qualities. Colonel Tom Parker's role was providing external pressure. He didn't create the talent, he forced it into a mold to reach its iconic results. Ultimately, the self is the only real teacher. A mentor reminds you that life has no predetermined plan for you. You must decide what you want from life. Adopting this view of freedom doesn't make daily life easy. Human relationships remain a struggle, and our patience is constantly tested by the world around us. You can see the weight of a reactive mindset in an erratic driver or a frustrated individual in a crowd. They feel trapped by their environment because they don't realize they have a choice. Their suffering comes from the belief that the traffic or the crowd is controlling them. They haven't yet discovered the inner freedom to change their own reaction to the situation. Because we are all imperfect, we will inevitably fail at maintaining this perspective. When we lose our focus, we can use the protocol left to us by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Emerson's rule was simple: finish each day and be done with it. You must accept that blunders and absurdities occurred and willfully forget them as soon as possible. By letting go of yesterday's nonsense, you allow yourself to begin the next morning with too high a spirit to be encumbered by the past. You start the day serenely. We are often blinded by the glare of daily life, but we must continually find a way to focus our vision on the power within. By embracing our existential aloneness and taking ownership of our perceptions, we secure the ultimate prize, the freedom to choose the life we wish to live.